my little Christmas bubbles. Welcome to the merriest place on the internet. Today I'm going to show you how we decorated this black and burgundy on white Christmas tree. Couple things really quickly. That's Ruthie, my little kidlet. She wanted a Christmas tree for her bedroom, and yeah, I'm not gonna say no to a Christmas tree. So yeah, I decided that since she wanted a tree and wanted to decorate with me, I would kind of film it for you guys to kind of see how we went about decorating this, themed tree with a color palette. Yeah, so I do have to keep kind of shoving her out of the way because she had a habit of standing right in front of everything, which can you blame her? It's a beautiful tree. This is a 4-foot pre-lit from At Home. And yeah, we just started with the ribbon because I always start with the ribbon. And that ribbon was a pain. I got it from Dollar Tree, and the sort of faux crushed velvet texture of it it didn't behave. It was a pain. Took me way longer than it should have. But we finally got it. It ended up kind of tucked back in behind all the ornaments, and I was kind of grumpy about it at first, but anyway, as you'll see, it turned out pretty great. It was kind of like this really subtle ribbon. The ribbon wasn't a big, showcase part of the tree. It was just sort of a subtle garland that we ended up using, and it kind of got tucked in within the branches, and I didn't hate it by the end. I thought I was going to, and I was like, no, you know what? I kind of like that. Next, we moved on to her favorite / most important ornaments. She picked out a couple that were just very important to her. The first being that white champagne-y bird, and then of course the kitty cat, because the kid has a thing for cats. And as you can see, I'm explaining to her how we need to stagger them in a sort of, kind of zigzaggy Z-like sort of thing to get the ornaments all separated out nicely so that everybody's spaced out and we don't have things too close together or too far apart and funky. And yeah, next we moved on to her snowman hat that was nice and sparkly and black and burgundy, which was the colors that she totally picked out. I don't know what's with the 8-year-old and the super classy colors, but man. Moving right along, we went with the poinsettias next because they're big, and I like to get the big stuff on the tree sooner rather than later so that everyone finds a good, happy home, and we don't have to move things to make room for something bigger. The big stuff's just on there, and they're nice color disbursement too. I really liked these poinsettias. They were a nice dark red, maroon, burgundy, and just really pretty. Next were these kind of spiky black snowflake things. Again, another big ornament, so we wanted to make sure that they ended up in a nice home, in a nice place, settle in. I did have to wrap the string around. I usually, if I find I keep wrapping and wrapping and wrapping, swap that out for floral wire, which you'll see later that I do with the Christmas bubbles. But for now, we're just working with wrapping string around the branches for time, really. It's for time. Now we've got these kind of maroon flower burst thingies. I'm not really sure what they are. Most of these ornaments, no, all of these ornaments we got at home because I basically live there. I do have a video of me shopping there if you want to see kind of like every Christmas tree thing they have. Well, a lot. I mean, it's not everything. It's a lot though. Great store. Can't recommend it enough if you're in the States. We had 4 of those kind of flower burst. I don't know what they are. Anyway, they're really pretty though. But we had 4 of those and 2 of the spiky snowflakes, so I made sure all of those got on. Next, we're moving on to these kind of soft, petally, kind of floral black ornaments. They're like a Christmas ball, but they're soft, kind of folded fabric petal kinds of things. We had 4 of those. So we wanted to get those on next so that we had a nice kind of even color disbursement between the burgundy and the black. It'll start looking a little uneven, but don't worry, we fix it. That's the beauty of the tree. You just keep going and you fix as you go, and you make it happen. It works out in the end, every time. Now that we've got all the main ornaments on, we're going to move on to the Christmas balls. We're going to start with the reflective ones, the mirrored balls, and we're going to take them and tuck them deep in the tree because they're mirrored. They're going to give the tree some dimension. If you tuck them back in there, it just kind of reflects everything and looks pretty. Oh, got to adjust the cat. And we lost a bubble. It happens. This cat was very problematic and temperamental. Like a real cat. Anyway, back to putting the reflective mirrored bubbles deep in the tree, tucking those in. We did have to wire a few of them just because I didn't really want to stay. tucked and resting upon their branches. They weren't having it, so we did have to wire a few of them, get them in there. They looked really good. They kind of gave the tree a little extra life, the way they mirror and reflect everything from within. Next up, we went with the Burgundy glittery Christmas bubbles, tying those onto the ends of different branches here and there, making sure that our color disbursement is looking good and staying balanced. Again, I'm using floral wire with these. When you buy most like Christmas balls and Christmas baubles, they don't usually come with hooks. And hooks don't give you as much control as floral wire. So I switch out the hooks anyway if they do come with them. These did not, so I just cut floral wire and we wrapped them around the branches. They don't go anywhere when you use floral wire. Pro tip. I've actually got a whole like Christmas tree hack video coming up for you guys with little tricks like that I use all the time. Floral wire is a very good friend. Now we're putting on the black Christmas baubles that we have. Another kind of pro tip is to do your ornaments and your Christmas balls and everything in sections. So one color or style at a time. That way you kind of, it's just easier to get everything balanced. You're not putting a maroon one here and a black one here and then trying to make all the rest of them kind of work with that. Everything's placed intentionally and you'll just have an easier time balancing everything out and making sure that your colors are even and, you know, spaced sporadically in a strategic way, you know, the way that you want. Now we are moving on to these glittery champagne colored bubbles. These are just for a little more light and shine, and they also tie in the bird and the pearly letter R. The R is for Ruth Ann, because that's her name. Okay, and now you're going to see me walking away. I'm going to be looking at the tree from further back just to make sure everything looks balanced and you can take in kind of the whole picture. It's the whole picture perspective. With the smaller tree, we didn't have to do this until closer to the end. But when I'm decorating a full-size tree, I'm like walking away from it constantly just to make sure that I'm seeing it from a distance so that I can make sure everything's balanced and nice. All right, we are looking pretty good. Couple finishing touches on here. This is going to be in the way of the topper, I can tell, so we're going to move it and fix it. Alright, and here's our topper. This is actually an angel that was my grandmother's that I acquired. I mean, I'm not saying I stole it. I acquired it. It's a complicated story. We're going to get that angel up there, make sure that she's looking pretty and glowing just right. And we have a finished tree! Look how good these girls look. And while I do love my classic angel, if you want some other Christmas tree topper ideas, you can click or tap up here. And for more Christmas magic, you can click or tap right down there. I'm off to spread more Christmas cheer, so until we meet again, sparkle on.